I want to talk about my movement through the body. My younger self, and I quote, would say in the face of walking or doing anything, oh, I don't want to do that. I might sweat. Very not into the physical exertion side of things. And PE for elementary school and high school was like, well, I barely got by because I was not an athlete, super awkward, hated team sports. Just like I'd be out in the outfield just picking daisy chains, like not wanting to be there, just like, ooh. So that was my introduction to the body. And of course, I was overweight, so I was made fun of and, bullied and that kind of thing. Not intensely, but like just a bit. So I just had that whole thing. And then I just avoided my body and went to university and, did my thing in the mind and all that. And then I did a project in my fourth year to change behavior. I was accelerating daytime eating and decelerating nighttime eating. And all of a sudden I lost weight. Who'd have thought behavior change actually affects what happens in the body? And I felt better, and it was kind of an interesting thing. And also, at the same time, my mom lost 75 pounds with Weight Watchers. I was also an emotional eater from a very young age. It was just like, eat my feelings. But I didn't really know that consciously. It's just what you did in my family. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm going to join Weight Watchers too, and maybe I can lose weight. So the first Weight Watcher meeting I go to, they're talking about getting moving and exercise. And I'm like, ugh, I am not in the right place. This is awful, lame. But my mom's friend, I was like, well, I go to Curves, and Curves is not intimidating at all. And I was like, okay. Oh, yeah, I had a gym membership once. My mom bought it when I was like 16, and I went twice, got super intimidated, and like never went again. And she paid for it like for 2 years. But anyway, so I went to Weight Watchers, and this woman was talking about Curves, and I was like, all right, okay, I'll do it. And Curves was like perfect. I don't know if you know about Curves, but it's like little machines in a circle, and they're all like hydraulics, so you can't hurt yourself, and there's like little bouncy boards that you can jump on and do things, and I loved it. Like, I loved it. All the ladies there were like pretty much in their 70s, and like a few people like me that were kind of overweight and whatever, and so I felt like I fit in, and it was like, all right, I'm not intimidated at all. This is great. And then with the drastic change in lifestyle, tracking my food all of a sudden and like exercising on a regular basis, and I actually really started to like exercise, so I wanted to do it like all the time. It was like all of a sudden these endorphins are rushing, and I'm like, oh, everything feels so good. And so I lost half of my body fat percentage in like 3 months. And I think I lost like 30 to 40 pounds, somewhere around there at that time. And it was just like, boom, just drastic. And so I got a job there. And then I started working in the fitness industry after that. Like, I was like, okay, I'm going to be a personal trainer. And then I'm going to be a fitness instructor. I want to be a Zumba instructor. Initially, I taught Zumba for like 10 years. And like pretty much any modality, I was like, yep, I'm going to that training. Yep, I'm going to go to that training. Yep, I'm going to do that. And I worked as a fitness professional for a really long time. There was, though, when I lost all that weight initially, even there was some unhealthy patternings around that, because all of a sudden I was getting so much attention. I remember people being like, wow, you're like skinny now, good for you. And it was like, there was so much accolades about it. Like, it was just like, and so I sort of became obsessed with my weight and like how I looked. And as a fitness professional, there's a lot of pressure to look a certain way to get clients, or to like, look like a fitness professional. So when you're teaching classes, you want to like look the part. And I remember at my most unhealthy, I was teaching like, God, maybe even 20 classes in 1 week, where I was just like one after another after another. I'd start my day with like 6 a.m. spin class, and then see a bunch of clients, and then teach more classes, and then I'd go home and I'd just be exhausted, and I would binge eat, and then I'd get like super worried about the scale, and so I would like purge until I weighed a certain weight, and then I'd get to bed at like, and then I'd take pre-workout in the morning and do it all again, and I felt like that was the worst. That was my worst in my body that I had ever felt. And I remember getting so many accolades at that time for my sweet abs and how ripped I was and how skinny I was. And it was just like so toxic. Anyway, so I went to counseling because I was like, I can't live like this anymore. This isn't sustainable. Fuck this. And then during that process, like there was other things, but I'll talk about those in the soul piece. I got pregnant. Now, pregnancy was amazing for me. Like, I love my body. And I feel like I fell most in love with my body when I was pregnant, because it was like I was growing a human. I was still teaching 11 classes a week or so, but I was getting reasonable sleep. I wasn't using caffeine or anything. I was like, and my body just, it was, it was the most amazing thing. And then, it gave nourishment, and I love my body. I love my body so deeply. And through the other work that I've done, the energetic work, which I'll talk to more about in the soul piece, I have this deep, deep connection to my body, and this freedom, this fluidity, this communication with this vessel that is just talk more on that later. But I just want to say that I love my body. Like I love my body. And when I eat for nourishment, and I move in a way that feels good, and I exercise because I love it, and there is no punishment in my body in that realm. And I mean, not to say that I'm perfect. I'm like, oh my God, look at me now. It's like, you know, sometimes I'll find myself in a pattern and I'll be like, oh no, I overate. Okay, well just let it settle. Or, you know, I might be like, oh man, my abs and my arms aren't like they used to be. And it's just like, it's a part of, you know, old stuff comes back, and it's just, okay. And then it's moving through that. And so it's an ever going movement and process. I love my body, and I hope you love yours too. And I want to hear your body story. So if you post your body story, I want you to tag me and hashtag, what do we hashtag on this? My body movement. Bye.